Hi, my name is Lone. I'm starting a new playthrough of Fallout 4 and I want to show you all the hidden and not so hidden details of the game. From big secrets to the most meaningless small things that don't matter whatsoever, I'm going to try and cover it all. If you want to see more, please like the video. Let's get into it. Even though you spend the beginning of the game looking into a mirror and creating your character, the mirror in reality is not reflective whatsoever. Your character is actually standing on a weight scale when you're creating your character, but it looks like it doesn't work. Even though the old post newspapers like this one in the game are titled Wave the Future in English, the rest of the text in the body are simply Latin placeholder text. The Mr. Handy box in your character's home detail the full list of responsibilities that the Mr. Handy can take on, including accounting, cleaning, comforting, cooking, childcare, entertaining, elderly care, grocery delivery, grooming, haircutting, makeup application, marital advice, pet care, pet grooming, personal assistance, and many more. The Don't Be Bored Games company responsible for creating the Blast Radius board game is also responsible for creating Autopsy, Catch the Commie, Rad Poker, The Legendary Run, and Unstoppable Shindig. Have you ever wondered why your character can still eat food products like Instamash and Blamco mac and cheese long after the Great War? Well, it's because these products never really expire as confirmed by your character in the game. The TV anchor in the game is voiced by none other than Ron Perlman, who typically narrates the opening intro of every single Fallout game. Now this TV anchor has some interesting things to say as well. For instance, he says the line,
"Something that is unquestionably, inescapably American. I am referring, of course, to our great national pastime, baseball."
This line exactly matches what John Henry Eden says in Fallout 3 on Enclave Radio, when he starts off one of his speeches by saying the following: "I've been thinking quite a bit lately about something we can all relate to, something that is unquestionably, inescapably American. I'm referring, of course, to our great national pastime, baseball." Before the Vault-Tec representative speaks to your character in Sanctuary, he can be seen at the house opposite the street. What's of note here is that the door to that house is actually closed, which would imply the Vault-Tec representative never got the opportunity to speak to the homeowners inside. If that is true, they never would have been able to sign up to enter Vault 111 in the first place, and if so, they would have been prevented entry once the bomb started dropping. However, we know that this is not true because later when we access the Overseer's terminal in Vault 111, the Overseer confirms that everyone who was meant to enter Vault 111 did end up doing so successfully. Once the Vault-Tec salesman starts ringing the doorbell, he will simply not go away until you answer it. Even your character's partner will reference this when they say, "I've tried waiting him out, but it resulted in a stalemate." There are items in your character's home which will confirm the occupation of both Nate and Nora before the Great War. Nora used to be a lawyer, and Nate used to serve in the army. When Codsworth does the dishes, the water from the sink is not actually running, even though it is capable of. The music which plays when you spin Sean's mobile is the exact same one as the Baby Steps theme in Fallout 3. When you need to run towards the vault when the bomb is about to go off, there are two soldiers here telling you to run the other way towards the direction of the vault. If you decide to defy their orders and run in this direction, the bomb is just going to go off. Even though this label on the floor in Vault 111 says it's a restricted area, going past it won't actually trigger the security guards. Even though these pods in Vault 111 are clearly designed to freeze the inhabitants, the game will still label them as decontamination pods, further perpetuating the lie of Vault 111. If you access the Vault 111 monitoring terminal next to all of the cryogenic pods in the vault, you'll be able to see the specific cause of death of each of the pod inhabitants. If you head to the pod occupant status section and click on any of the entries aside from your entry and your character's spouse, you'll be able to see that all of the other vault inhabitants died specifically due to asphyxiation due to life support failure. However, if you go to the entry for your character's spouse, you'll see that the occupant status is unknown due to the pod door being manually overridden specifically by Kellogg. Alternatively, if you head to the entry for your own character, it again states the occupant status is unknown, but this time the pod door was remotely overridden, not manually by Kellogg. What does this actually mean? Who opened the door for the sole survivor? Vault 111 actually has an empty cryopod, which might imply that this particular inhabitant managed to escape. However, that is simply not the case. The Vault 111 monitoring terminal lists the occupant status of this cryopod as not applicable, as opposed to the manual overrides being engaged. This simply means that this cryopod was never filled in the first place. Furthermore, if you head to the overseas terminal, it does state that every registered Vault inhabitant managed to make it to the Vault in time before the bombs dropped. In there as well, it does state that cryopods which are empty are meant to be used as a way to dispose of dead bodies of any insubordinate Vault 111 staff that need to be killed. The security terminal in Vault 111 details the reservations that one of the security guards had for not telling the Vault inhabitants that they would be frozen. However, this is because the Vault experiment specifically was testing the effects of suspended animation on unaware human subjects, not subjects that were actually aware of what was going on. The Stimpaks in Vault 111 are actually unique in the game because whenever you pick them up, they'll automatically be equipped as favorites. This does not happen with any other Stimpaks in the game. A similar thing happens with the security batons and the 10mm pistols in the vaults because when they're picked up, they are automatically equipped. This does not again happen with any other weapons in the game. Whenever you sit down on a chair or a bench in Fallout 4, you'll be able to wait to pass the time. However, no matter where you sit down in Vault 111, you'll simply not be able to wait at all. This function is disabled. If you access the Recreation Terminal in Vault 111 and select the entry Top 10, you'll see a list of the shorthand versions of some of the console commands in the game. For instance, TGM activates God Mode, TCL turns off collision, and QQQ allows you to fast quit the game. As you all know, there is a cryolator in Vault 111 which requires you to be a master at locksmithing in order to be able to open it. However, there used to be a glitch in the game where you could actually send Dogmeat to fetch the cryolator for you. This unfortunately was patched out. Speaking of the Overseas Terminal, if you access it, head to the Overseas log and select the option Systems Malfunction. There it details a malfunction that took place specifically with Cryopod C3. What's strange though is that this entry refers to the Cryopod's inhabitant as a female, even though when you head to Cryopod C3, it actually holds Mr. Callahan. In Vault 111, as soon as you pick up a 10mm pistol, your character will be able to use VATS. This is somewhat strange however, as at this point in the game, your character has not picked up a Pip-Boy, and for many years the assumption has been that it's the Pip-Boy which allows us to use the VATS mechanic in the game. So this is either an oversight by Bethesda, or perhaps VATS is simply a game mechanic, and that's it. When you enter this pool of water in Vault 111, your character doesn't take any rad damage at all. This is very strange because it implies the water is not irradiated, but as soon as you try and drink it, that's when your character does take some rad damage. The Pip-Boys in Fallout 4 fixed a long-known issue of the Pip-Boys in both Fallout 3 and New Vegas. In those games, the knobs and dials of the device were located on the left-hand side, which didn't make much sense if the device was meant to be worn on the left arm, because the main character would have to cross over their right arm over the screen whenever they wanted to use the dials and the knobs. Now in Fallout 4, they're located correctly on the right-hand side, which makes them much easier for the character to use. Alrighty Wastelanders, that is all from me. I really do hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more episodes in this series, please do give the video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, this has been Lone, please take care of yourselves, and would you kindly keep fighting the good fight.